So they'll be calling you a radical. This is an important video. So finally got some good media. I mean, it's a miracle. And don't you love the name of this media? I mean, so perfect, and it's excellent media. I mean, I have so much trouble getting any. There he is. He's something else, ain't he? So I have so much trouble getting any real numbers, any real data. The Gringo Gazette. What a great name. So as you know, the Greys birth in Mexico and in the Laguna there, and that place is hard to get to. I mean, the drive is brutal, scary, dangerous, nasty. Well, I've drove it. Whoa. There's no airport, which is the good thing. Keep the gringos out. Keep the well petters out. So this is a big, big story. They even use the headline "starved." So that's the first time I've ever seen that. Anybody said that. You know, it's usually scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious, they're bewildered. Now they go in and they quote the 5-year lie bullshit of Noah that unusual mortality, when Noah wouldn't even fucking acknowledge it was happening till way after that. Now I did the work and it's not over. And this proves that it's not over. So he who runs it there says they've had 40 deaths already this year. That's a giant number. He says they're almost all juveniles. They're starving to death. So tell me that it's fucking over. Big story. So I just got off the phone with Martin, Tim. You know, we're working the shit. It's getting that time of year again when the salmon numbers. So wait till you hear this. This is so, I mean, I've always used genocide, but, you know, maybe you guys, some of you guys out there ride or extinction. The stillhead. Guess how many are in the rogue for the entire year, winter stillhead? 58. So what's the name of the river right there that runs through Eugene and dumps in? It's a big stillhead river. Guess how many they have for the entire year? The winter stillhead run, which is about over. 12. You heard me? 12. Well, now, the Columbia, they're reporting 258, but I don't even listen to the Columbia numbers anymore because we know they lie. The Army Corps of Engineers, we know for a fact they lie. I've documented and proven that. So this is a giant study. So the other thing in your clean, green, beautiful Spencer Cox, we have one nuclear reactor on the whole continent of Africa. There's 2 reactors at one plant. So this is how bootlicker Reuters and BBC is reporting this today. Well, more shuts off electricity because the power plant's out. They won't use the N-word when there's an accident happening. They won't even crippled by that, let alone. So who knows what's going on there, but it's out, and it's been out for a long time, and it wasn't. Here's the other panty painter. Unscheduled. I remember they told us that about Chernobyl. And Zelensky wants more in Ukraine. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's great. I mean, degenerates. So the reactor's out there. So this, look, the gray well, this is important because in 2010, 2008, 9, Obama took the humpbacks off the endangered list. Now the humpbacks are in symphony with the grays right now. They're plankton feeders. The grays, well, they're hallowed creatures. I mean, sacred, sacred, sacred. The 10,000-mile journey. You know, and they've been washing up, starved to death. I'm the first guy that reported this in 2015, that they were giving birth, some of them, in Monterey Bay. Why am boots on the ground? I'm like, oh, God, no. Just what I had predicted. They can't make it. They're enumerated. They're starving to death. So, you know, they show a picture one, enumerated, washed up, starved to death right there in the birthing grounds. So this is a giant story. It ain't over. And lying ass fucking Noah. Noah, when I was walking the coast of California starving, I mean, literally dying of cancer and starving to death, full of cancer. This is, you know, 2014, 13, 15, 16. I'd run into Noah. They had a cleanup operation. They'd come in and pick up the Fukushima washed up debris at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would talk to them, what's the radiation levels? And I know you have them because you're putting up, they put up these detectors up under the, all over. They had them all over. I saw them. And they're like, don't know, not our job. Not your job. Now what's N? What's the O? National O for, okay. So remember they went in denial. would not report it, would not. And it was us. I remember standing at the point there in PB Point, and Winston's girlfriend says to me one day, "What are you doing, Kevin? Up this early, blah, blah, blah. I thought you were staying with me, you know. I watched for gray whales. It's the time for that shoe to drop." That year, what was that, 15? I believe so. We counted 312, my army, the Post-Ignorance Project, before they all, "I ain't gonna quit you, I ain't gonna quit you. Run along, Johnny." And so, it's not over. This is a fucking catastrophe. So, Tim Martin, you know, he's all over this. I cannot overstate this. Tim Martin lives in that beautiful Airstream of his at Gold Beach, Alabama, born and raised Oregon. He's probably the most famous salmon fishing guy, well, at least in the last 60 years, no doubt. He got rid of his boat, got rid of everything, you know. He's heartbroken. That's all he's ever done. I call him Tim Salmon Martin. So, and that picture that I have of that stillhead that he caught, there's no doubt in my mind he released it, is the world's record. No doubt. I've run that by several people. So, you know, I talk to him in Portland. Washington won't even talk to you, you know. They're pitiful, the state of Washington. So, California, there's articles out all over saying, how beautiful, really beautiful. Love the gulls. Love the gulls. They've crashed radically. Wow. So, even the LA bootlicker freaking Times, who won't say the F word still this day, Fukushima, is saying that you can't open the salmon in California. Even they're saying these numbers. And here's the deal. They always put out these live projections this time of year. Now, the one guy in Oregon at the Rogue, who I was always arguing and fighting with, remember he put out that 300,000 to 400,000 lie, and me and him went at it. We were arguing and arguing. You see, he died of cancer this year. Way 10 years younger than me. I mean, it's unfucking real how these bootlickers go along with it. So they put out these live projections, and they'll come in at 30% or 40% of projections every year. Well, that's just so they can sell licenses, come and not, you know, refund you. The Kenine is so telling. There's no dams on the Kenine. The Kenine Chinook salmon had 10,000 for the year last year. They should be getting that a day. They're just down 97%, as Kevin Blanch said. Now, this is important. The gray whales, the humpback whales, all the biologists have come out and agreed with me. 75 biologists come out with a major study and says, yep, it was an outlier, and it was a starvation event that started in 2012. As I do the work, first you hypothesize the knowledge. These are full blown out meltdowns. They're going to cook the plankton. It's going to cause an acute radical starvation event. And they agree. They said Kevin Blanch was right. He was right the whole time. This is a chain reaction. It's the greatest fucking event in human history. And he's right. When you have orcas feeding on all kinds of animals in Monterey Bay, in Diablo Canyon Bay, in San Diego, at Mission Bay, freaking in the summer, you have humpbacks and grays and orcas in San Francisco Bay. In the summer, they live in Alaska. They've moved. They've changed their... Yeah, and the whale petters are all once in a lifetime. Yeah, isn't this wonderful? This is the greatest event in human history. And we know factually this is an outlier. My work has been proven. First you hypothesize knowledge, then you defend your fucking work. Then you got to do the work. 14 years, I stood right here. They're lying, nearly 14 years ago, 5,110 days ago. They're lying. These are full-blown up meltdowns. This heat source is going to pour into the ocean. Unforeseen, never happened to Mayak, never happened to Santa Susana, never happened to 3 Mile. This is new. This is the greatest heat source in the history of mankind, bringing star-powered Earth. Oh, they did it. These cores are going to push into the ocean. That's what they did. It's going to boil. The storm's going to rise up. It's going to get into the trees. Plutonium fire. The great North America heat dome. The greatest drought in 1,200 years here. 2011, 2012. Oh, okay. It gets better. Plutonium fire. I was down in the Capitol talking to the geologists on map day, and they're like, yeah, this fire event's epic. I says, more ground in Idaho than California per capita has burned since 2011. And Trump says you need to go up and... That's my line up in Idaho all the time. I tell all these Trumpers. Trump says you in Idaho need to rake up your forest. So, Did you know the heat dome, you could draw a wrap right off. Storm, it doesn't matter if it's in the water or it's in the air. It rises up. And I said, it's going to get into the pine needles. I'm the first guy that did all that work, boots on the ground. Inside a pine needle, have you ever thrown one on a fire? What's inside that? They hold radiation from the sun. They're going to get too much radiation in, they're going to burn, they're going to cook. This is the greatest fire event modern human, maybe human history. Plutonium fires, country. When did that all start? Oh, 2011, 2012. You could talk to the fire marshals, which I have in NoCal, up there in Pleasanton. We never seen anything. We thought it was simultaneously different people starting fires all over simultaneously working in network because they all popped up the same. And no, Kevin Lynch, you were right. I watched your videos back in the day. You were dead right on this. This is going to cause energy. It's going to become the atmosphere. The energy is going to get into the biosphere, and you can't see it, can't smell it. It's going to actually get so right that the atmosphere will catch fire. Oh, it did. The tree event, I'm walking the coast, Kevin. I'm like, look at this. How about the Muir starvation event? Dead fucking, boots on the ground. I'm like, look, they're playing volleyball on top of the leaves. They all washed up fucking dead. Oh, 2011, 2012, this whole attack. So we have 14 years of data now. The stillheader, the smoking gun, and the Chinook. We don't catch dead tide pools. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. First, the tide pools will go. I mean, my historic work on the tide pools, me on mine on both places. The tide pools will go first. This will cause a chain reaction, a starvation event. Now, I cannot overstate this. The Pacific Ocean was incredibly healthy on March 10th, 2011. So healthy that the grays and humpbacks have been taken off the endangered list. So we know we have 14 years of data now. We don't get dead tide pools, okay? We don't get dead humans in bone marrow transplants. So I just had this argument with a guy. Well, it wasn't even an argument, discussion. Oh, I almost died. I got sick in 2011. I says, how can you jump to the conclusion? You're saying it's an outlier. You say right in your own work it's an outlier. It's a starvation event that started in 2011, 2012. And then you don't do any field work. You're just regurgitating Kevin Blanch's historic work. And then you jump to the conclusion and you say global warming. How can you say that? You're telling me global warming started in 2011? Is that what you're saying? No, I didn't. That's exactly what you just said. No, yeah. We know global warming's been going up since fucking Operation Paperclip, since we let Standard Oil, Rockefeller tear out all the streetcars in the United States and turn over. Cars are up 8,000. We know. Global warming, the vast majority is automobiles in the U.S. We know that's been going like this. Till 2011, 12, when it went like this. We know factually that the Pacific Ocean Fahrenheit heated up nearly 7 degrees in this short period. You know how radical that is? Fahrenheit. That's so radical. That's an outlier in science. So we know there was a trigger. It's unarguable. What's the smoking gun? So the stillhead, they don't getting down with those or pounding the breeding ground. The stillhead don't live in Idaho. I mean, they make it to Idaho. They go to sea 1 year. For the first time, they come back. They're called a half pounder. They go to sea twice. Then they go back again. The second year life cycle's over. I says, getting down. They don't live. They live in the ocean. We'll see that collapse start immediately. 2012, 2013, which we did. And everybody's arguing with me. No, I'm a fisherman. I'm out on the. We had record Chinook salmon returns from the Kenai to the Fraser in British Columbia to the mighty Columbia to the Rogue to the Jedediah Smith to the Klamath. Remember, the Jedediah Smith and the Rogue have no doubts. Neither does Kenai. The ones with dams, they're in symphony, identical. We had record returns on the Chinook 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14. To the point of 2015, they were so plentiful. I mean, records. 4.4 million on the Columbia, counting the tribal takeout, counting the fish takeout. 4.4 million. To the point the Army Corps of Engineers was doing videos saying, look at this. You know that live cam has been out on the Columbia River on the Bonneville, now, the old Chief Joseph, for 9 years now. I tell everybody up there, everybody said, will you believe me when they collapse in 2016? Yeah, but that ain't going to happen. Oh, did it. To the point, these things, the Rogue and the Stillhead, you're talking now 99%. How about the anchovies and sardines? All So you can't argue with me anymore. It's absolutely unarguable. You cannot argue with me anymore. That this happened. And this is an outlier. We have 14 years of data. You can plug in regression. They're like, what the fuck? We know factually unarguable the greatest outlier in human history started in the Pacific Ocean in 2011. We know that factually for the data. All this fucking said data. We know that. What's an outlier? So in science, we don't do mystified, baffled, stumped, curious. First you hypothesize, standing right here. These are full-blown out. This is the fucking hottest source in the history of fucking mankind. It's so foreign you won't even be able to track it because we don't know what it is. Never happened before, Sir Isaac Newton. For every action, there's a reaction. This is the greatest action in human history. Never happened to San Francisco. Never even happened to Chernobyl. Never even happened to 3 Mile Island. Didn't happen. Oh, it finally happened. 4 full core meltdowns, MOX fuel, the biggest load on Earth, pushed into the Pacific Ocean for 5,000 days. You think there's no byproduct? You need to fucking talk about need your fucking head examined. That's the greatest mental illness in fucking human history, is FUKUSHIMA denied. So I tell this guy today, look, have you seen the new prostate cancer out of fucking California, out of globally, the giant one now? It's out. Yeah, I did read it. You saw when they even used the word outlier, and they said it started in California, moved across the country. More deadly, stronger, more aggressive prostate cancer. They called it an outlier. Increased by 7% in 2012, 2011 over 2010. Another set every year. Radical. Even call it an outlier. Then moved across. Did global warming cause that? Then the new study. Have you seen? I sent him the University of Duke national heart failure, heart attack, younger, stronger, more aggressive, more radical deaths via fucking heart attack in young people. I sent him that thing. And their own study at Duke University comes out and says they used the word outlier in 2011. Radical. More, of course, they're mystified about. Did global warming cause that heart attack? Strontium-90 attacks the fucking heart. Fucking the cesium-137 in the fucking rockfish last year 180 times over the fucking safe limit. The Buser study 1,000 times over. I had to, he tried to hide that. So you can't argue with me. Oh, this is a giant story. 40 dead juveniles there at the lagoon this year alone. Oh, it ain't over. The unusual mortality of that. Woo! Oh, well, what happens to you already happened to humans. Longevity in North America started to head south radically. Well, you got it, 2012. We don't do coincidence in fucking science. It's a giant fucking study. Martin called me up in a panic today. He says, oh my God, this is so fucking unbelievable. So, yeah. Nuclear, speak. And little Spencer here in Utah wants more. So the South African reactors are off, and then they won't tell us why. Oh, right there in the apartheid state, when they were built, the only ones on the entire continent. Whoa. Huh. You're in denial. I have proven absolutely that this event was triggered by the Fukushima disaster and the energy, which I named Fuktonium because it's new. The father of Fuktonium on the pyramid of fucking FU. Hello. If this had been 34 years ago, I'd have 5 or 6 Nobel Prizes. What do I get? I get Semmelweis. Who's Semmelweis? The germ theory doctor in Vienna? The doctor from Budapest who washed his hands and proved doctors need to wash their hands. These little invisible germs are fucking killing people. And he did it for 10 years and he proved. He increased his mother's savior of mothers by 10 times. They still wouldn't believe him. They threw him in a rubber room and beat him to death? Kevin Blanch Historic right here, 2011. All new knowledge will be persecuted, always has been. Oh boy, have I been chest split open, kicked off Medicaid, viciously attacked at every fucking angle. I've done all this work. I get by with a little help from my friends. Thank you everybody who has supported. James Lucen in my city by the bay, he's helped me. Fucking Lewis, fuck how awesome is he? Fucking in the bay, in NoCal. So deny my work. It's a big deal. Really big deal. What a great name of a paper. the Gringo Gazette. The well petters. Well, they stay out of it. That's why there's not an airport there. It's a hard place to get, thank God. My fork just keeps on going on. What do I do? I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, I told Heinz, who passed away last year, told me, Kevin, this, the brilliant guy from Germany who was living here, who passed away last year, heart failed. He says, Kevin, you still fighting the Nuclear Energy Crime Center? You still working all this? Your PhD? Yeah. How do you keep your sanity? What makes you think I do? It may just be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the fucking lights. Thank you to the Gringo Gazette. What a great piece of journalism. It's heartbreaking. You all act like you don't know. Is a cancer slow? La 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 la. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little nuclear lies. The Great Pacific Genocide, brought to you by the Nuclear Energy Crime Cult. Nuclear meltdowns. Because guess what? They're a hot hell of a way to boil a planet. Kevin Blanch, March 2011. Stay in tune.